Woohoo! Yes, we are live. I'm starting a minute early because, true to form, I am determined to open my bottle of wine before we get started. Although I didn't plan on doing this early enough, so obviously I waited till right now. Right, hold on, I am here, but I'm just opening my wine. You'd think I'd put in a bit of planning. Hello, everybody. Oh my goodness. Thanks, everybody, for being here. You guys are the best. I am opening my Malbec, my loves. Oh, no, I'm not. My Merlot. What am I talking? Proving a little problematic just because I'm so hot here. Hurrah! This is not a product placement ad. This is just, midday here in the USA. Thanks to everybody for joining. Thanks for the Katie's Arms, which is growing and growing. I can't even believe it. I go to events all over the States and I say things like, oh, I have this kind of silly little thing called the Katie's Arms, and people are like, hooray! Which is just the greatest thing. So now the other reason I was nearly late is because I had to go and wash. So this is a hotel glass. I appreciate this is not what many of you or my husband, who is a wine dude, would call a wine glass, but still, I had to go and give it a wash because, hi my loves, because I used to be, I think many of you know, I used to be a cleaner. When we say cleaner, I used to kind of go into a room, shut the door, have a little rest, put the music on. I used to iron the sheets as opposed to change them, and then particularly glasses like this, I would just give them, like if they'd obviously been used, I would get the old bath towels that had to go out into the dirty bath towel thing. I would get the old bath towels and I would wipe out the glasses with the old bath towels of the person who'd just been using the room, in order to then put these glasses back as if they were clean. So because I used to do that as a cleaner, it sort of screwed me over, because now when I come to hotel rooms or places to stay, I look at the sheets and think, did some lazy bastard just iron those, or are they clean? And then you find me like sniffing at sheets, and that's not a good look. Like, I would not want to get caught sniffing hotel sheets, like on entry. And then the other thing I do is I wash all the stuff that I historically would have just kind of cleaned with someone else's dirty bath towels. I also have to rewash that stuff. So in a way, my laziness in a former life has come back to bite me in the arse, as so many things do. Look, this is so true. I worked in hotels. I know what goes on. I know, right? And then when I check in at hotels, I'm like, seriously, because for all sorts of reasons, like I used to be a wimpy girl or a receptionist or a cleaner, so I know how shit people can be. When I check in, I am the nicest person. Like, I'm like, yes, no problem, do. I'm kind, I ask how their day is. And still, sometimes I end up in very dodgy rooms, like the room with the shitty aircon, or the room with the noisy blah, 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 or the room that overlooks the garbage disposal or whatever. And so when I go into a room now, I don't like this side of me, but I don't even go in and think, here I am. I go in and I go, have I been screwed over? And a friend of mine taught me this skill. She's a brilliant Jewish woman and she takes no shit whatsoever. And she says, you don't go into a hotel room and think, here's my room. You go in and think, have they screwed me over? And then basically, if I've got like the noisy unit that won't shut up and you can't turn the noise off, you just trot back downstairs and say, oh, I think you made a mistake. And you put me in the room that needs an engineer. And I honestly, that's not who I think I am, but I've become a little bit like that. Is that an age thing? Or is that just, the other thing that happens is because I travel alone everywhere, I'm always alone, checking into places. I think people think, oh, sad old lady, sad old lady on her own, probably keeps cats, probably never had sex in her life. And they sort of, maybe they think that of me, which is rude, but then the way I turn up at hotels often can't really blame people. Like, I look like a bag of crap so often. Like the Uber driver the other day that called me Steve. Like, he actually thought I was Steve. So maybe it's that. Maybe I turn up looking like someone called Steve and they think, well, bollocks to it, just put her in the shit room because she's probably a lonely lesbian that never made it. I don't know. Anyway, Mother, if you're watching this, please, Monty Don, something else. I should say something important about my parents. Long-suffering, never spoken about. Did someone honestly put probably an alcoholic too? Whoever wrote that, that's so naughty. I am not an alcoholic, although I agree, sometimes I do look like one. And if you saw our recycling, like, that was the best thing about lockdown, right? So many people, oh yes, we'll talk about the top, I promise. This pertains, what a great word, pertain. Please try and use that word tomorrow in possibly inappropriate places, like at the supermarket. Go to the customer service and thing and say, pertaining to the issue of lottery tickets, may I purchase two? Like, if you really change the syntax of the sentence, pertaining to, maybe not, they'll just think you're a twat. But it is a way to have fun. My mum and dad, hold on, I have things I need to speak to you about, including Meghan Markle. Hold on. And including Katie Price. Mum and dad. Okay, now including my mum and dad. So my mum and dad, who we don't speak about because they will be forever anonymous because their life is hard enough with me as a daughter, without having to bring that into their actual daily lives as well. That's why I'm on the road for 4 months, just to give everybody a bloody break, right? My mum and dad, in all seriousness, are nearly at their 50th wedding anniversary. And I just think that's bloody marvellous. You know, because, ooh, how weird. Because when will we ever see that again, you know, in our lifetimes? And I know there'll be some of you that will say, my mum and dad had their 50th, or they got to 40, whatever. Or I know people who have been married for 50 years. But can you even conceive of such a thing? I haven't been on the planet for 50 years, even though we know I look like Steve, and some people suggest I'm an alcoholic. Last night, a gentleman called me a butch lesbian. It was fine, it was fine. He was big, sweet. And I showed him my old book cover of Rouge, you know, when I had the crisis brain surgery years, and I did look like a butch lesbian. I showed him the picture and he was like, yes, you look like a butch lesbian. Thank you very much. This was in the middle of an evening event. But my mum and dad have been married for 50 years, and I just think that rocks. And yesterday they went dancing together, because they have little, like, Strictly Come Dancing sessions with their friends. My dad wore like a little fancy shirt with colourful things on, and my mum wore a colourful, bright dress. So I just think that's rock and roll. And, you know, bear in mind my first marriage lasted less than a year. And then you get people who've been married for 50. I just think it's great. It also gives you heartache because it makes you think, oh, what will you do one day when they don't have each other? Or what will you do one day when one of them isn't around? That's just, and you really, I don't know, people will know better than me. I can't even think about it because it's just the worst. I can't even. And I know many people will have gone through this already, but I have to put that thought away in a box and not think about it, because that's the end of it. Right, let me tell you some things about this Offerty Piss. On my enormous, obviously there's been plenty of printing space because of my huge mammaries, which we can agree are enormous and clearly growing by the day. So, amazing lady last night. I'm sure she's on here. I'm sure she is. Yes, exactly. Good on your parents for sticking together like swans. Oh, I must tell my mother that. She'll love that. Like swans. If you saw my father, swan is not necessarily the first word you'd think of. 6'4", poof, don't mess with me, might be what you think of, but yes, he's a sweet soul. So yesterday I turned up at my event here in Jacksonville. It was actually at Fernandino Beach in Jacksonville, if that makes sense to anybody out there. And this lovely lady, who I'm sure is here, yes, I know you're after merch. I just don't know about merch, guys. I'm not... We know, I know people call me a grifter and they say I'm like paid by Mossad. I'm not paid by anyone. I'm paid by myself. And so God knows how I'm still on the road. So merch, I don't know. I feel like this weird embarrassment. Like having merch means I'm trying to get money out of people, surely. And, oh, sorry, yes. Yes, I see what you're saying. My t-shirt reads, Offity Piss. And I know everyone says, Katie, switch your camera. If you know how to switch a freaking iPhone, believe me, I've tried. And I can't go through some shitty process where I upload it all, switch it round and re-upload it. That shit is not happening. If you know how to switch my camera, please do inform me slowly. And if you're talking to a full retard, on email, katie@katiehopkins.co.uk. But anyway, it says Offity Piss. And at my event last night, this amazing lady, whom I love, brought me a Katie's Arms bag, which is just the best thing. And it had this in, which she hand ironed. Can you even imagine? And she said that she was like chasing around her kitchen, trying to get the eyes. No, sorry, that's just childish, isn't it? Trying to get the eyes to stay on the eyes. I mean, how nice is that someone goes to all that effort? Not only that, but in my bag of tricks, apart from the Offity Piss t-shirt, which I know we're now wanting, and I'm going to talk to my girlfriend, Millie Rose, that does the t-shirts, and let's see if she can make one that isn't too expensive. She also brought me this, which is just, how about that in a hotel room on your own? That's very cheering. And then in my bag it had all sorts of other important things, like a bloody stars and stars face mask, just for when I'm on a flight and you want to go to the air stewardesses who are being bastards, and some jam to put on my bagels in my room when I'm alone, and all sorts of other things, including the Constitution, the greatest document ever written. If you've never read the American Constitution, may I suggest you do? It is by far the finest piece of writing on the face of the planet. There will never be another piece of writing like it again. I've memorised much of it. I oblige my children to read it. And this is the thing that separates, or this is many of the things that separate Americans from British people, because their rights are God-given and no man shall take them away. And when you have a constitution and you can defend it with a Glock or a semi-automatic weapon, my preference, you are pretty much untouchable, which is why Florida will be where we all come to one day when we're making a run from the tyranny that we're being suppressed by. That was a very serious moment, but the Constitution is a very serious thing. I will, honestly, I mean this sincerely, if you're British and what I'm saying to you, you're like, oh, piss off, Katie, you're a Brit, you're not an American, stop pretending to be one, fine, I hear you. But if you could, or if you think about it, get the US Constitution, read it one night, and it will lift your soul. This is what I travel with. I travel with this and my British passport, and I can promise you that this is a much better and more important document than a British passport will ever be. I now travel with my British passport in a plastic bag because there was a coffee-related incident once, and it nearly stopped me getting on a plane. Always put a passport in a plastic bag. Learning. Just, surrounded by things that just wash off of me. Someone described being in the audience of my show the other day as being in the splash zone. I think that's so true. Let's get naked. I mean, it's an idea. And that was a comment from a lovely person. It's an idea, and it's never an idea that is that far from my mind, if I'm honest. Like, let's get naked. Like, if I have a default funny mode, it's generally around nudity, or the thought of nudity will come into my head. And I'm so unoffended by nudity at every level. It's not a big deal to me. It's not like I'm trying to show people I'm naked. I'm getting naked for my own amusement, she says, pulling her shorts out of her crotch. Okay, so, small sip. I wanted to speak about some things. I was just looking at this, actually. So the lovely lady also included a corkscrew in my bag of delights, which just goes to show the length our side goes to A, ensure that I can drink, and B, our side are just so smart. And by our side, just so we're clear, I don't give a shit about the Conservative Party nor their politics. And frankly, I don't necessarily think a lot of the Republican Party here in the Americas are any good either. I'm talking about the side, the people that just want the people here like, yes, let's get naked, Katie. This is the great idea. What will we do? What, just sit here on the live naked? Like what then? Then I'd have to wiggle about, because that's what I'm like. I don't want to sit on the end of the live wiggling about naked. It will just put everyone off. I think it will just attract the wrong sorts, and I have an ability to do that for myself already. Now, in no way am I encouraging violence or making violent suggestions, because that will see me removed from here, which will of course happen in no time, because everybody's out there campaigning already to have me removed from this platform, as you can imagine. There are actual lobbying groups lobbying Instagram to have me removed as we speak. There are powerful charities and powerful religious organisations lobbying to have me removed from this platform, just so you are aware of what goes on in the background of my life. If I gave you the list of the names of people lobbying to have me removed from here while we're talking about this stuff, it would blow your minds. But be under no illusion, very significant charities, very significant religious organisations run countries. If you think it's governments, you're in a different world. Anyway, I'm looking at this thinking, and it's been troubling me. I think some of you know, I've been so troubled, as I'm sure have you all. I've been so troubled by what happened in Bournemouth, and I know it's an ongoing court case, and I know myself and my friend Tommy Robinson will be put in prison, and I will be one day for certain, for contempt of court. So let's not talk about the court case and the lady that was hauled into the sea in Bournemouth. But I've been very troubled by that, only because, not only, a lot of my troubling is because of the idea of someone taking a girl and specifically and determinedly putting them onto dangerous ground, so ground where a woman and a girl would not feel strong or safe, and then doing things to her. And so I guess my plea, and I've been trying to do this video for a long time and I can't get through it without getting upset yet, but is that I want girls to be strong, and I will get this video done. You know, so my thing to girls is that it's not that men have to, not that we're not asking men to be better, we are, but majority Pakistani Muslim men who groom our girls in the UK, we have to think differently. And your first and best line of protection, and this is ladies of course, is yourself. And every time you go about the place, you need to go about the place as your first and best line of protection. So you need to have your heads up. Anytime I see people walking down the street, men included, with their heads in the phone, my one first thought is to get that phone and bash it physically out of their hands, just to give them a friendly, I don't do it because I'd be arrested, a friendly lesson on how vulnerable they are making themselves. Your brain has got this incredible peripheral power, and I know about it because I've lost half of it. If you disable that by looking down, you have disabled your own functioning, right? It's like having a phone that hasn't got its Wi-Fi, or a phone that hasn't got whatever you need uploaded, your apps uploaded. You are disabling your own functioning. That's crazy, one. Number two, I was just looking at this, and obviously no one is advocating violence, and no one is suggesting at any point that you carry weapons, ever. But I am saying that you have to be ready to be able to look after yourself, and there are certain things that could work well for that. And it's not that you're going to use them, it's that if that moment came and you needed to get out of the back of a cab and someone has locked the door, you're going to need something to do that with, and you should be prepared. And that doesn't mean you have to be scared of the world. It means you go about the world like I do, knowing that if someone else is in trouble, I'll be the first one there, and they have to get through me to get to you. And they won't. Okay, I'm going to try and do that in a sensible video at some point for younger people, but as I say, it still gets me upset, so I can't do it for now. Meghan Markle. I just wanted to have a little sound off because I've been holding this one in. She looked so fucking awful. Sorry. Mum, I told you don't even listen. Meghan Markle in New York. If you haven't seen, please do look at the pictures. Just come with me on this for fun. If you can't find the fun in this, just offer to piss, because I honestly don't care. And I don't care if you want to be nice about Meghan Markle, just piss off. Okay. So someone clearly curated, which is what they do, right? Curated her, I don't know what this is. That isn't anyone curating anything, but it's just me. I'm getting my daughter a keychain taser. Mates, I'm telling you, in the UK, where you're not allowed to hold a weapon, this isn't a weapon. It would be just that you're going to a friend's house and you need to open many bottles of wine. It's not a crazy thought, guys. Back pocket or elsewhere. I could conceal this in any number of places. I'm not advocating that either. What do they call that in the movie where they say, what's it called that you do that in prison? Someone will help me. I've got wine on my teeth. I have not. This is just my teeth. I have British teeth. They're a bit shit. I'm missing my front tooth. My best girlfriend stuck her foot out when I was running when I was 12 and I landed and burst my tooth. I do not. I just have a bit shit teeth. Stop being an asshole. So Meghan Markle, they curated her plugging. No, it's not plugging. Keister. That's it. Thank you. You guys are the best. You know what? If I have problems, I should just do a live and put my problems out there, shouldn't I? Except some of my problems are probably a bit bigger than, probably a bit bigger than this live is able to cope with. Like, guys, I'm being arrested. I'm being interviewed under caution. And there's a threat of me going to jail. You guys are going to be like, drink wine? The police have just come and they've collected my children because I've been reported as an abusive mother in the hope that they'll take my children from me to silence me. Drink wine. Story of my life, right? In the backstory of Katie Hopkins. We'll talk about all of that another time. Anyway, Meghan Markle's wardrobe, curated for New York, but curated spectacularly badly, as if it was going to be -20. And in fact, it was +80 degrees. And that fat little bugger had to sweat her tits off for the whole time she was there in a raspberry cashmere coat. Have you any idea how hot a well-finessed raspberry cashmere coat is in the middle of downtown when it's 80 degrees in New York? She will have had sweat dripping through and down the back of her back cleavage into her arse cheeks and down the back of her legs. And I know that because I've been there. She would have been dying in her wool suits. And I love it. So she wanted to look like Michael Obama, right? So she dressed up like Michelle Obama. Did I say Michael? Oh. She wanted to look like Michael Obama, and so she had the long pantsuit cut long, which doesn't really work for her because she's got actually very short legs. So she just looks a bit more like a weird midget. And it's not doing her any favours because obviously this middle area is where she's chucked on the donut power. So she's now got donut power and she's trying to work a pantsuit and it isn't working in any regard. And on top of that, she's got a baggy cashmere raspberry awfulness with the sleeves rolled up a bit. And she's essentially at this point relying on this weird shit. We'll have to do this, won't we? I have to do it with my aged hair. She's got this weird part in here that someone's told her definitely works for her, but it 100% doesn't. It just looks like a shit weird middle part in that's been scraped real hard. I imagine that because that's hurting my head a little bit, I imagine that for her it's probably quite the tightness of that middle scrape part in that she has is probably hurting her actual head. So while she's there trying to be like Michael Obama and film her Netflix series and look at Harry adoringly oh, I still love you even though I fucking hate you. She's actually, and she's sweating, so she's got sweat dripping down her arse crack, down the back of her knees. But this is for Netflix, so I still think I look great. And then her head's also hurting. That is a friggin' lot. Oh, should I stop that now? Because that's actually hurting my head. That is a lot, right, for one, vastly middle-aging, I'd suggest closer to 50 than 40, chubby, boom, boom, woman who also needs to be balls. An empowered black American, so black, more black by the day, American woman, mother, yeah, So that's a whole lot going on. That I would love to be inside her head, because I bet it's that, oh shit, my party really frickin' hurts and I fucking hate this bald ginger twat and this got arse sweat dripping down the back of my shitting knees, and who put me in this pissing raspberry fucking cashmere, bloody hell, and I'm fat and that waistband is chafing into my belly, is what she's thinking on the inside. And she has to go, oh, this is for Netflix and we're going to rake in the cash. We need it to pay our rent because we're actually unemployed Z-less actresses. Oh, oh, this is me pretending to be interested in the World Trade Center when all I really want is a shower and a better looking husband. Anyway, that's my take on Meghan Markle. No one asked me for it, obviously. Right. Don't rub your elbow, you'll get a surprise. What does rubbing your elbow do? Okay, that happens quite often. I do bang things quite a bit. We can talk about that another time as well. But my peripheral brain is missing a few bits after my surgery. Right. The other thing about Meghan was then when she was stood on the stage with Harry. What's with the high-pitched singing thing? No idea. Because she goes on stage with Harry and they've obviously worked. They've worked because she'll have gone, oh shit, I feel really fat and I got this massive around the gut. Right, if you saw her naked now, it would just be like small boobs, massive chubba boom boom here, and then arse, which is fairly white. She's basically, I've always been a bit of a house brick, but she's like house, what are those concrete breeze blocks? I'm a house brick, fairly square shaped, right? I don't really have a big waist, but it's hard. She is basically a concrete breeze block because she is wide. Like she is wide like the Panama Canal right now. And then she's got this going on. And they've been like, shit, I'm getting on a stage to preach to people about the vaccine and being really healthy. And so what am I going to wear? And they've worked out the best thing will be something with a lot of detail. Here, Meghan, we're going for detailing. Look, embellishment. Bah, 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 bah. And we're going for like a soft peach so that you look like a, really great black American with a, severe parting. And then we're going to have a high leg so that you can get your legs out. Because if you look, she's got skinny ankles. She knows that shit. So she works the ankle because it's the only bit of her body that's remained skinny after pushing out, maybe, just 2 kids, maybe. And now she's just gone to rat. She's gone to seed, as my mother would say. She's gone to seed. So she's like this. And actually, she just looks like a Teletubby, right? With a bit of embellishment. You can embellish a Teletubby all you want, but you still know that the Teletubby ate too many donuts. And I know she's supposed to be vegan. So whatever the shit she's eating that's a vegan, it's probably a vegan brownie, right? Made with, what do they make that shit with so that it sounds right on? Beetroot. Meghan Markle has eaten too many beetroot brownies. That's the headline. That's the headline. Mail Online were mad to let me go, right? Because that article is getting read all day. What's everyone saying? Oh yes, rap Nicki Minaj. I need to practice that. We have 2 minutes, my darlings, till the end of this Katie's Arms. Did we talk about all the things? No, so I should tell you some things. I know British people won't like this. Oh yes, you must hate Kate. Well done, Angela. That is such the thing I wanted to talk about the other day. I wanted to do a picture. Kate turning up, No Time to Die, or whatever it's called, which I loved. Did you know? No Time to Die was actually being released in Manhattan. I was there at the same time as the COVID outbreak happened and every bastard was dying. And in the window of like the fancy watch shops, I don't know what they're called, it was the No Time to Die posters and all of the artwork and all of the fantastic graphics, right? And there were literally people like this, get that shit down, fuck's sake, Brian, you can't be advertising No Time to Die when everyone in America is dying from the Kung Flu Wu Flu. It was the funniest thing. I mean, it wasn't funny, but it was quite funny. Oh, Katie Price. We'll have to do a Katie Price separately. I'm not keeping you past the half hour. That's the commitment I made to Katie's Arms. But the Katie Price thing is kind of, we'll try and do it separately. Yes, I just need to quickly update you as to where I'm going. So that if you get, yes, Kate in gold. Didn't she look just adorable? And then what's his face, Mr. Tiny Blue Pants, said to her, you look gorgeous, or you look lovely. Can you imagine Meghan Markle The sulfuric acid coming from her internal organs just about must have melted her face. They just about got an invite to Disney's Lion King, right? And Kate turns up as their ultimate Bond girl, looking hot after 100 million kids with a much better husband. Keep watching that, Meghan. I'd love to put Meghan next. Meghan in her Oompa Loompa dress with the embellishment next to Kate in that gold. Wouldn't you just love it? Just put them together. Katie, talk about Greta Twat bag. Okay, look, we'll do... Next week, Katie's Arms will do requests of topics beforehand. Twat bag we'll put on there. Pricey I might have done. I'll do Pricey tomorrow because I feel like I owe her something kind. She's not a bad egg, man. And you know what I'm like. I'm softy, really. So let me just let you know where I'm going, because in case you can come find me, you don't need to bring me gifts, but just come find me because we have hugs and laughter and I generally overexpose myself in every regard. New York, I promised to go to New York. I'm going tomorrow. I'm cuddling every single young black American that refused the state injectable. So if you are a young black American in New York, stand by, because your head is going in here. It's not exciting, but that's happening and I promised it would. And I will bring you updates from what New York is like. I am going to go to Nebraska just because there's 2,000 women there that need me in a room. I'm going to go to Miami because Roger Stone has brought some of his, what he calls big dick energy and wants me to introduce him. So I'm going to Miami, come find me. I'll be in Dallas, another, I think, 2,000 women, and we are doing an event called Clutch Your Pearls, which will be Katie Hopkins After Dark. The vagina is coming out. I'm going to be in Portland. If you're Antifa in Portland, stand by your bed, son, because your life's about to get a little bit worse. And I am going to be in the rest of Oregon. I'm going to be back in California and God knows where else. But I am on the move. Keep finding me. Keep coming and finding me. I don't give a shit if you pay for tickets, don't have tickets, need to meet me outside some back-end bar or Waffle House. I'll come find you, and I promise you, our side is the side to be on. Okay, people, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the support for Katie's Arms. It's kind of overwhelming. I'm not sure how something that started in my room in lockdown has become this massive thing, but I really appreciate you all. Tickets, are they still available? I will put, so email me, I will send you all the ticket links, and a lot of them we're trying to do, I don't take money from it, they're like $20 or whatever, it's just to cover whatever the shit door thing is. Katie, Katie, at Katie Hopkins, KatieHopkins.co.uk, so just watch that end bit. We get .co.uk, right? Even though I'm banned from Wales. I mean, I'm banned from South Africa, banned from Wales, banned from Australia, banned from PayPal. I'm banned from, well, a lot of schools in Scotland. I'm banned from my own bank account. I'm banned from owning my own home. I'm banned from any platform in the UK. I'm banned from Fox News. I'm very banned. I'm the most banned woman on the planet. But as someone said to me, when your existence becomes an act of defiance, then every day you win. And that's how I like to see myself. So I'll see you all next week. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything you do for me. And I appreciate everybody, and keep going. And remember, one important thing to other people out there, when we do photos together, see, it gets me every time. Please don't look at the photo and then look at yourself and say, oh no, it's terrible of me. Oh no, I look fat. Oh no, I look this. Oh no, my hair. Oh no. Don't do that. Photos are not about how you look. Honestly, that's a mirror. A mirror is there to help you with either wine on your teeth or the wrinkles or all the things I've got, the mole here or the spots. Photos are capturing a happy moment in time. So don't do that thing where you look at a photo of yourself and beat yourself up. There's plenty other people out there to do that for you. Remember, you're a good soul. You're trying to live the best life you can. And when you see a picture of yourself, be happy you were there, you were alive, and you had a good time. Okay. Thank you very much for listening to me.